essential trace element needed by the body for growth and development.
Iodine happens to be among the minerals that are needed by the body, and they are needed in small quantity to enable the body to do its function properly.
Iodine is very critical to health, to human health, to the brain, development of the brain, prevention of goiters. You know that you've seen a lot of people having goiters, especially where there is nothing like salt in your water, like in the ocean area, the sea area. You know, we have seafoods. So as a result of that, you see less of goiter in the urban area and near the coast than you see in the eastern part of this country, because it's fresh water out there. Sometimes there's less consumption of not just salt but iodized salt, and foods that have iodine in them, which are mostly sea or salt water related.
But its absence has several health consequences together called iodine deficiency disorders.
When people live in areas where they are not consuming enough iodine in their diet, they can be at risk of developing some of these conditions that I'm about to name. Chiefly among them is that among women, it affects women and young children particularly, and also the adolescent population. They are really more vulnerable. For women, especially for pregnant women, it can lead to things like miscarriages, stillbirths, or giving birth to children with some defects, some physical and also psychological defects. Again, it can lead to things like, for young children particularly, it affects the maturation of the brain. And that's the most sympathetic part of it, because it has been proven that in the people who live in iodine deficient zones, especially for children, it can really impact on their IQ. For example, it can bring their IQ level by 20%. And I think that's a very serious consequence as far as the ability of that child to go to school and learn and be able to make good use of his or her schooling is really compromised. It also affects productivity, especially among the adult population, because people who live in iodine deficient area are usually sluggish. They are very slow, and their understanding sometimes is being compromised. So it really affects the productivity of communities and hence the productivity of nations. So in a short, if I am to tell you about the consequences of iodine deficiencies, they include miscarriages, they include stillbirths, they increase infections or morbidity, and can, in certain cases, they can also contribute towards mortality, and it also reduces production, especially among the older population. And among the school-going age, it affects their IQ, and that is their mental status.
This is why the National Nutrition Agency, NANA, under the Office of the Vice President, has taken it up to ensure the general public is sensitized on iodine consumption. Recognizing the importance of nutrition in our daily lives, NANA has actively transformed and coordinated well the activities of salt iodization, working with stakeholders, traders, and producers.
We have a regulation governing the importation and exportation of iodized salt in this country. At the same time, too, we will work with the local communities in the Gambia. It might not be surprising to you to know that there are certain communities in the Gambia that are producing salt. We will also try to work with them with some other partners like UNICEF, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Trade, the Customs and Excise, to ensure that the salt that they produce at the community level is also iodized. So if we are able to tackle those two areas, enforce the regulations, enforce our market surveillance, and ensure that all salt coming from Senegal mainly is iodized, and the salt that is produced in the Gambia is iodized, then I think our markets will have a lot of iodized salt, up to a point whereby any salt dealer that you go to into the market will have some iodized salt on his or her table.
nka boro keje pour asanna mol nafa asa banko nafa nka ko men bondi jan safo ko senum balam because ngalon birinta ta janeta fa ngoy ko nyingel asane ata nyame ndolla ko bondo ni aje akache standard code akache code me alon ko betolem because nka tama ni silo lala ni sarato nyin ko do ku kuto ye men tan wala nyindi ko nka ko bondi dinkir nka je bondi dinkiral do kata dinkiral fo jannabe futala ko ka bodame andu nafuta da ko ka bodame an sa nka to patol bawon ka aja fo loku ni ngaja ngasamba ko bondi dula andu ngasamba ko ka dum bumo men ko ni ngalandi je fana nka boro chaga so boro dum fana ka fintinde molka dum ka nafa so so wala dina ko men ka bo akuma ya ta bakel pesain amonya na kele gambia no le lombaliya bawo bunda men boko nana ani UNICEF wolbe yesim fa baleta nyin ko do ko la kodo foy ka yatimo so do mealon ko akata banko be kan sango sang akata ka bankoran ka komembe molbul ka nyami anin boro so wodo gambia no janni bida ko sanna bantala ngamina ndol fon ka ko kendo men bonna banko kanja ngacho ko sannadi ngacho ko domoladi because ko le mealon ko nka boro kejele isita ko do sam banda amam boro so
toujours nga gis xalé ko xamné da fay tuddu rek tank yi sew biir bi reuy bop bi reuy ñu nan ki dafa xibon da fay mut suuf da fay def lenn nak lenn li koy waral yépp dafa am benn matière bu nek waron nek ci yaramam ta amu ci muy lan ñu ko tuddu manam matière bo xamné ay ci yaram ba baax li koy joxe nak te bokk na ci comme ñun Afrique dañ bëgg xorom te lépp lu ñuy togg dañ ci def xorom parce que ñam boo fi togg te defoo ci xorom dafay lewet te ñun même bu fekkee da nga feebar dem hôpital ñu ayee la xorom sax dañ naan oo ko kii de dootul lekkati lu neex kon nag fexe ba xorom si nga xam ne moom la ñuy jëfandikoo ci biir kër yi di ko togg bis bu nekk ngir yàlla nañu sàmmwante suñu njaboot comme ni ñu ko naanaa ci digalee ngir ñuy use xorom bi nga xam ne dafa am ayoti moo ñuy noppal ndax duñ mën a wax ne yeneen lekk yam ayoti danañ ko mën a lekk toujours waaye xorom moom bis bu ne ñu lekk kon dafa jaadu nag ñun borom kër yi wala képp koo xam ne da nga yar njaboot di joxe dépense nga fexe ba xorom bi ngay indi ci kër gi ñu koy xoromee ci li ngay lekk mu am ayoti dina la dimbali ci li ngay def pour ñi nga xam ne juddooguñ waaye yow miy dund dina la aar ñi juddooguñ te su boobaa da nga am dund bu rafet di nga am wér bu yaram
mbaɗi on ntela Mor Ndiaye mbe dow ko la jare kenda pundato bunda mi an ko wala marto jare kenda ki badol ganjawla anin ka jare kenda la gol kilimandi anin ke itande dina tatel bunda do ko dow ko ke mum ka ko National Nutrition Agency dalam mulai fanna modi mi an ko trebelo jare kenda bunda ni ka ko ka ni jare kenda ko wol do mo wala karon be na rapoka yamaro min di wala mu do mo wala tan ko ma do bi le mi an ka pa iodine afana mo domoro de nyanga ko ma da bake malo kono adon ko nyato nya asoto pa so ko min do wala mo domoro nyango ka so da baldo an domoro nyango se resbol do ba domoro fenne nyango ko fana nka sola balo ko sola mo ndin balo ko sola wala ko misal ko ya balo ko sola mo ben kam be do mo na nga balo be ko ata ko yaro pa ko sila o kamala